You're live here on GHOne TV. It's time for News Tonight with me, Natalie. First, let's take a look at our top stories. Coming up tonight, Accra Archdiocese of the Catholic Church petitions government as calls for action against illegal mining reaches pitch high.
The dams, rivers, all chemicalized. We can see our forest bodies are all destroyed, and therefore this should motivate every Ghanaian to wake up to this call.
Also coming up, Joint Commander of Operation Halt 2 vows to ensure all miners operating on water bodies in the country are flushed out.
Able to destroy about 18 champagnes that were on the water bodies, and then about 10 machines.
Also ahead, newly enrolled visually impaired lawyer says he will sue state institutions for failing to implement the Disability Act to the fullest.
You should expect to see me in the coming days, when I duly obtain my license, to be taken on state institutions that fail to do the right thing.
And in business, New Pearl Millet provides hope for farmers in the Upper East region as weather becomes unpredictable. We bring you the details of these stories and much more news here on News Tonight Tuesday. Let's settle down for the details now here on News Tonight on GHOne TV. Wherever you are in the world, you can watch this bulletin live on Facebook and X at GHOne TV. Top on the news this evening. The Catholic Archdiocese of Accra has joined the continuing pressure on the government to take drastic action against the illegal mining menace in the country with what it calls the prayer walk. The walk, dubbed the Environmental Protest Walk Against Galamsey, aims to shine a spotlight on the grave and lasting damage that illegal mining, commonly known as Galamsey, is wreaking on Ghana's environment.
The prayer walk, which began at the Holy Spirit Cathedral, saw hundreds of Catholics and people of other faith, community leaders, civil society groups, and environmental advocates join the clarion call for a national action against illegal mining. The church wants action from the government to deal with the menace, which has the tendency of destroying several lives. During the walk, participants said rosary prayers and sang hymns calling on Holy Mary to touch the hearts of persons involved in illegal mining activities.
Ave Maria, Ave Maria, sing to the Mother of God.
Speaking during the walk, National President for Peace, Justice and Creation of the Catholic Church of Ghana, Reverend Father Nicholas Azine, said the primary goal of the prayer walk is to raise awareness about the devastating impact of illegal mining.
What is happening? We all see the dams, rivers are all chemicalized. We can see our forest bodies are all destroyed, and therefore this should motivate every Ghanaian to wake up to this call. It affects the Catholic Church because we are Ghanaians. Every Ghanaian is affected, and therefore we are not so much concerned about the baptism, but a human as we are, health-wise, is affecting us, everybody. We have Catholics who are mining in those areas. We have people who are drinking those waters, and therefore it's a concern for us Catholics.
Members of the Catholic Church sang hymns and said prayers while walking for this peaceful prayer walk to present a petition to the presidency.
We present this on behalf of the committee and on behalf of all Ghanaians, because we are all crying. Thank you. See, we believe we are beseeching God so that some spiritual energy will come into it, so that our president will have the strength to do what is right. We are all not talking just to the government, but to all citizens, especially Catholics. If you're a Catholic and you are involved in this galamsey, know that we are to protect the environment. We are to respect the environment. Yesterday, Cardinal Teti told us that not just keep the environment, we are to worship the environment.
If you are in the right direction, you shall pass your petition to the president, and I assure you, as soon as he returns from international assignment, he will have a dialogue with the country. He shall speak to the nation, because this matter is of prime interest to all of us. It cuts across everybody. It goes beyond politics. It cuts across every citizen, and we shall give the utmost attention to it. Already some measures have been taken, but the president shall communicate to the nation.
Having presented the petition to the presidency, the Catholic Archbishop of Accra and its congregation are hoping that their prayers will not be only heard by God, but will also touch the hearts of duty bearers. For GHOne News, Obed Kingaglo, Christ the King Parish, Accra.
Well, let's now speak with Justice Siao, a sociology lecturer at the African University College for Communications. Good evening to you. Thank you for joining us here on News Tonight. Now, it's clear that we've come to a point where we're seeing numerous groups rallying over this issue of putting a stop to galamsey with a lot of intensity. What do you think is fueling this, particularly at this crucial time, a few months to the elections, and how much of an impact is it likely to have?
Thank you very much. For correction, I'm a former lecturer. I was teaching there. I know that's there. But your question, you see, the religious institution sociologically plays a very important role in the keeping of the society. It is one of the very fundamental and important social institutions that keeps the society going. So for the clergy to have joined this cry, I think it is in the right direction. It also tells us that then galamsey has now assumed a national interest and national importance other than the sectorial importance. I am extremely happy that we have our religious institutions joining the fight. You know, at a point in time, this galamsey fight became political, partisan.
Right.
And so institutions that have no political color, that are not seen as tainted politically, joining the fray, then will bring the national identification, the national aspect of the fight to bear. And I'm happy, extremely happy that they have joined the fight.
Right. Now, you express that you are glad, looking at the role of the clergy on society. In spite of the role of the body, how much of an impact do you think that this prayer walk is likely to have in actually ending the galamsey menace? They put forward their petition today as well. How impactful is it likely to be?
The prayer aspect is spiritual and is based on faith. So, as an academic, I will not rely so much there. But what I'm saying is that the religious institution is a notable and important body in the management and the pursuance of societal issues. And any leader, political or economic, that refuses to heed to the cause of the religious body has a lot to lose, because Ghanaians are religious and they respect their religious leaders and bodies so much so that any leader from any sector who then plays the admonishment of the religious body will only have the whole nation to contend with. And I am sure that the president will not put this call by the religious body on the ground at all. He will not take it lightly. He does it at his own peril.
Right. Now, briefly, in rounding up, what other efforts will you want to see this religious body put forward post the walk?
Come again.
What other efforts would you want to see the body put forward in ending galamsey, even after the walk?
If we have all agreed that it is a national issue, we have said that everybody will play a role in getting this thing done. And we shall all put our soldiers to the work. The political people must show leadership. The economic aspect must be taken into consideration. Social issues must be taken into consideration. But let us now understand that galamsey is a national issue, and putting the blame on a particular doorstep will not help it. Let us all get towards it and get it done. Then we can assign blame to whoever is deserving.
Thank you. Thank you for speaking to us this evening. Justice Siao, there, sociology lecturer with the Africa University College for Communications. Now, in a related development, the Joint Task Force implementing the second phase of Operation Halt has vowed to rid all water of both legal and illegal miners to help them return to their former clean state. The task force, which started operations in the eastern region on Thursday, is expected to go around all mining areas in the country to clamp down on the activities of miners on water bodies. Musa Lansan was with the team and filed this report.
The task force left Accra at 3 a.m. and headed to the Etiwa East and West districts of the eastern region to begin their work. Arriving at Suhum a little before 6 a.m., where they were briefed by the commanding officer, Colonel Eric Tinedu, the team set out to work. Colonel Tinedu told the media that the exercise is scheduled to last for 2 weeks, and the target is to rid the Brim and other water bodies of both legal and illegal miners.
So the immediate assignment is estimated to last for about 2 weeks. Then after that, we know what to do next, or depending on the instructions and the directives that we receive after that one.
The first stop was Accra town in the Achim Kwamang area, but the illegal miners had taken off upon hearing of the arrival of a team in the area. They left behind this tricycle and motorbike. At this point, the team had a tip-off that some illegal miners were operating on the Brim River around Achim Akrofufo. Here, 10 Shamfan machines were destroyed by the team.
Just behind me, the military team here. They just came from the bed of the Brim River here at Achim Mwaso, where they destroyed 10 Shamfang machines. But the owners, we understand, fled even before the team came around. The Shamfang machines, we understand, are locally assembled, aside from the generator, the motor of the machine that is imported. But most of the parts are done here.
They went further down the Brim Basin, where they found another set of Shamfang machines on the river.
Down the river there, that's a part of the Brim River inside the Achim area, and what is happening there is some of the river wardens trying to dismantle a Shamfan machine, which is being used by the small-scale miners. And from all indications of what we found here, it appears the miners took flight when they heard the footsteps of the task force made up of the military and members of the Ghana National Small-Scale Miners Association.
James Zichem is a river warden, and he tells us that his team has destroyed about 20 Shamfan machines since they were commissioned a week ago.
Last week we get about 20 machines to burn it at Enyinem near Mwosu. Then today too we started from Enyinem, then we came back to Akobosu, and here is Akrufu. Yeah, here is Akrufu. So we want to prove to the government we can swim and get the peoples are making miners galamsey at the riverside.
The team, after visiting more than 6 sites, managed to destroy 18 Shamfang machines.
In all, we were able to destroy about 18 Shamfangs that were on the water bodies, and then about 10 machines, water pumping machines also on the water bodies.
So after roaming around some communities and making sure that some Shamfang machines which were found on some of the water bodies were destroyed by the river wardens who were deployed somewhere a week ago, the team is about retiring for rest so that they continue maybe tomorrow or later tonight to make sure that
Within the 2 weeks they've been given, they are able to deal with the biggest hurdle confronting the government today, making sure our water bodies return to their former glory days of serene beauty. For GHOne News, Musa Lansa reporting.
Well, let's stay on this a while longer and speak with security analyst Adib Sani on whether this development will in fact change anything in the fight against Galamsey. Good evening to you. It's good to have you join us. Now, you've been making calls, and of course we've had many bodies making calls with regards to putting a stop to Galamsey. You specifically called for there to be a state of emergency that has not yet been granted. Are these actions satisfying to you, and do you think that they're sustainable?
Well, I think it's a good start, Natalie. However, it's not enough. I mean, we cannot solve this using the military approach only. I mean, it's like terrorism. I mean, we fought terrorism for so many years, yet the terrorists seem to be winning because we have focused our attention on militarization, which in my opinion is not going to yield any sustainable results. You see, Natalie, this issue is so serious that we need to fight Galamsey like we are fighting terrorism. Okay, and all the powers of the state must be used in that regard. For me, the military has been deployed in the past before. The question is, what makes it different this time around? Right. Because the height of incompetence is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome. I'm not in any way discounting the importance of dispatching the military, but we need to have a strategy. We just don't do things because the public is upset. We want the public to think we're doing something about it. One, politicians would have to learn to keep their hands off the work of the military. I've spoken with soldiers who have told me categorically that if politicians take their hands off and just give them a mandate to execute, Galamsey will not last beyond 48 hours in Ghana. We know there are some mining sites that are beyond reproach because they are owned by highly connected, politically exposed persons. All mining sites should be accessible to the military, as simple as that. Secondly, the military has to work collaboratively with other security services. So, for example, the immigration, because at some mining sites, we have some individuals who are not Ghanaians. How do you verify that using the immigration? There are some who mine the gold and want to smuggle it out of the country. Customs comes in. Police also comes in with its investigation, and the internal intelligence agencies, like the National Intelligence Bureau and the National Signals Bureau, also play a very critical role in getting the military actionable intelligence so they are able to conduct surgical operations. All right, so we need a much more coordinated collaboration between the security services for this to be successful. And the most important bit of it, we know full well that Galamsey is a mainstay for a lot. It is a means of survival. So if we are asking them to stop, what happens? Would they go back home? Would they take to the streets? Would they engage in other forms of criminality? So I've always contended, Natalie, that this is a multi-dimensional issue that requires a multi-dimensional approach to deal with. We just don't get knee-jerk and expect any sustainable outcome.
Right. Now, Sani, how about the 2 weeks period that the operation is set to be carried out for? Do you think that's sufficient?
Absolutely not. Look, Galamsey is so deep-rooted to the extent that it has become a norm, it has become a culture. And I don't think 2 weeks is enough to rid the system of Galamsey. 2 weeks is woefully inadequate in my opinion. And so we need a longer period, but with a plan. You can have 10 years without a plan. Trust me, Natalie, you're not achieving anything. But you can have a plan. In a very short period, you would achieve something, but certainly 2 weeks, I don't think it's enough to get, all this Galamsey sites cleared up.
Very well. Adib Sani, thank you, as always, for speaking to us this evening. security analysts, they're calling for a more coordinated approach in dealing with the fight against galamsey. You're watching News Tonight here on GH1 TV. Let's turn to some other news this evening. 2 persons with disabilities were part of the over 700 new lawyers called to the bar on Friday, October 11, 2024. The 2 people, including the executive director of the Ghana National Association of the Deaf, Juventus Dorina, after satisfying the General Legal Counsel's qualification requirements, were sworn in during the 61st main call to bar. My colleague Natalie has more.
A total of 777 new lawyers have been called to the bar to practice as lawyers after satisfying all the requirements prescribed by the General Legal Council, the professional body responsible for regulating legal education and legal profession in the country. The Chief Justice, Gertrude Saki Tokonu, led a delegation which include justices of the Supreme Court, the Attorney General, the President of the Ghana Bar Association, and some others, including faculty heads, the Director of Ghana School of Law. All of them were here to perform this very function, including the Judicial Secretary. And one thing was certain, the atmosphere, the euphoria here at the Accra International Conference Center was so telling. Family members, relatives, loved ones have all been here to throw their support behind their relatives who have been called to the bar. It's indeed an exciting day for these new lawyers who have passed their respective courses to become lawyers. But the Chief Justice, Gertrude Saki Tokonu, has a message for these lawyers.
What you went through in the last 5 or more years just provided you with skills on how to learn the art of construing, interpreting, applying, and administering law. As you leave here with your certificates, you are supposed to use these skills, knowledge, and values given in law school to serve your communities.
On the issue of galamsey, the Chief Justice has this message for the new lawyers.
From this narrative, we can see that our country has flowed and ebbed and moved in waves. When the nation is on a high tide, lawyers are there to support the shaping of the nation. In low tide, it is lawyers who speak up to shape the new form of the nation. Structural resource you have been given. Nobody is going to teach you how to deal with galamsey properly. You didn't learn that in the law school. You have to learn it on the job.
Some of the lawyers have been expressing how the journey has been for them up until this day.
The journey has actually been very rough. It's been rugged, but with perseverance, with determination, we've been able to sail through successfully, and today we are here.
The journey is long, but it's incredibly rewarding. So don't give up, be very determined, and just don't give up. You will get here.
We all worked extremely hard, and it came with a lot of trials and tribulations, but I'm glad we all made it through to today.
Good comes on a silver platter, and I always say that with God on our side, you will definitely surmount. You shouldn't lose focus. Once you know where you're headed, you should keep up the faith. You should trudge on courageously and pray to the Almighty. And I believe that at the end of the day, though it may tarry, but at the end of the day, it will tally according to the will of God.
Out of the 777 new lawyers, 2 persons with disability were among the number, and they received special acknowledgement. From the Accra International Conference Center here in Accra, Natalie, GH1.
Now, even before he starts his practice in a law firm, newly enrolled visually impaired lawyer Mata Tobias Dennis Hosse has served notice of his intention to sue institutions who have failed to implement fully the Disability Act. Speaking exclusively to EIB Network's court correspondent, Dennis Hosse said he will take on institutions that fail to make provisions for persons with disabilities.
If
if we are paying the same school fees with our colleagues who have the libraries and books accessible to them, then we should be giving the same service. Because at the end of the day, we write the same exams with them, and I don't think anybody considers us because we lack facilities. If I had failed any of my papers today, I wouldn't have been here. But however I managed to do it, it was by the grace of God. No provision specially was made for such a situation to be easier for me. Elsewhere, the field is made even for everybody, provided the person qualifies. So what the white man in his land will do is that they will engage you and make sure that all the equipment you need or the logistics you need to make your studies very easy and possible would be made available even before you are admitted. But our place here, even as at now that I was leaving school, there was nothing like that in any of the institutions I went through. Thank you.
So how did this prepare you for the task ahead? The CJ mentioned that, look, it's good. The job now goes beyond the 5 years you study in the classroom. So how does that motivate you to go to the field proper?
So as someone who has been through this, it's my interest to make sure that the world and everything happening around us, especially in Ghana here, should be all inclusive. That persons with disabilities and other vulnerable class of individuals should be given their best share of the cake. So you should expect to see me in the coming days, when I duly obtain my license, to be taken on state institutions that fail to do the right thing.
You do that?
I'll do it.
Are you including taking them to court?
Yes, if need be, we'll do it. Yes.
Okay, so they should look out for you. State institutions that fail to put in structures to address the need of persons with disability, you will take them on?
Yes, we'll take them on.
Well, away from that, Greater Accra Regional Minister Titus Glover is cautioning land guards operating in the Amrahia enclave of the Denton municipality to desist from their activities. He warns that the security agencies will deal with them if caught in the act. His comments follows 2 petitions from traditional rulers in the area over illegal activities of some sand winners with the help of land guards in the community. The chiefs are demanding action to stop the land guards and the return of some lands to them by the government. There's more in this report.
The communities of GHOne and Damfa and then Amrahia for some time now gave government a portion of their lands for agricultural purpose, and the total land size was 1,362.5 hectares. But after years of government usage of the land, the communities applied or appealed to government to release 40% of the land to them so that they can also use it for other purposes. And that is the bone of contention here. For some time now, the residents and then Clement Jato, whose company has been sanctioned by government to protect government lands, have been at loggerheads because the residents accuse him of stealing some of the lands that has been reallocated to the residents here. And so the people plan to petition the regional minister. Upon hearing of the differences here, the regional minister, Honorable Titus Glover, visited the area to have a meeting with the residents and then the Clement Jato, the man in question here. Before he went into the meeting, the minister sent this caution to land guards who are operating in the area.
The land guards that are here, I'm pleading with them. Under President Akufo-Addo, land guards is against the law. We don't want land guards to take the law into their own hands. So I'm pleading with them. We're going to be very tough to make sure that they don't breach the peace that we're all enjoying here in the region.
After some 30 minutes of meeting with the traditional rulers and Clement Jato on one side, the regional minister together with the traditional rulers and then the man in the middle of the confusion moved to the site. At the site, the minister gave the simple instruction to the people.
So now it has come to my attention verbally. Put it on paper. Add all your supporting documents. Then we can follow it up on your behalf. But this land is a government land. I told my chiefs that if you have your land and somebody wants to trespass, you protect it. Jato is not your target. Jato is protecting government land. I'm not defending you. This is government land. So we need to protect government land. If you want your difference, do the right thing and let's follow up. And we'll go and speak to government. Then that is all. So nobody should destroy anybody's property here. Nobody should win sand here. This is government land.
Well, so for now, the land is supposed to remain intact until the traditional authorities from Kweman, Damfa, and then Amrahia write officially to the regional minister requesting for the release of the remainder of the 40% that they are requesting for, so that they can also use it for whatever purpose they want for. For GHOne News, Musa Lansa, Amrahia.
Now it's less than 60 days to the 2024 general elections, and we remain your election hub. Now, joining us on Election Hub this evening is flag bearer of the Convention People's Party, Akosia Frimpoma Sapong Kuman Kuma. And tonight we talk about the campaign as well as issues of illegal mining. With her, thank you very much for joining and for being here in studio.
Wonderful.
It's good to have you.
It's nice to be here, and I say hi to all the viewers and listeners across the globe.
Wonderful. Now, we've got less than 60 days to the general election. Tell me how the campaign has been for you so far.
Fortunately for me, the campaign started 2-3 years ago, or I'm saying 4 years, when I took over the Convention People's Party as the chair and leader. I knew exactly what the problem on the ground was, so I knew that I needed to do a few things differently from what was being done in the past. So my effort had always been to get to the grassroots, to make sure that I have people at the cell, at the polling stations, because that is what we lost over the years.
Do you feel like you've achieved that so far, successfully?
To some extent. So even though the time seems to be short, that coupled with the fact that the Ghanaian youth and the Ghanaian is exhausted, tired, wants a change. The same feeling, the same expression, the same situation that was there in the mid-50s when they wanted to be out of colonial invasion or colonial rule. I feel the same way today. So, yes, CPP, we are ready. We are ready.
You say the CPP is ready. There are also some concerns that you started the campaign actively rather late. I mean, as compared to some other parties, looking at the election period within the party. What do you say to that?
That you are very right, and that is my point. Though the point is that now, the people. What is new? Is it the billboards? Is it the T-shirts? Is it the posters that's been listed everywhere? We already know what they want to say. They've heard it. Right. Ghanaians are tired.
So you acknowledge that you began your campaign late, right?
Yeah, because
as a party.
Yeah, but the point is this. That's what I'm trying to say. That the point is that we have the structures and the people. Did you say 50? How many days do we have?
We have about 58 days, right, approximately.
Even until you put your thumb on that ballot, it's not late. That's all I can tell every Ghanaian. You still been seeing protesters. You still seeing people going and fighting and trying to get.
You're talking about the concerns of the Ghanaian people. I'm speaking specifically about the CPP
and
as
precisely,
a party.
And that is the point.
Less than 60 days to the election. How prepared are you? You acknowledge that you've begun your campaigns rather late, but at the same time, you say that you are well prepared.
No, I'm saying that
there's a lack of clarity.
No. I'm saying that over the years, the reason why CPP hasn't done well is because we don't have our presence at the grassroots.
You have presence now.
Yes, we've worked on that. The structure is down
successfully.
Yes, not completely, but I mean we still have some
percentage? To what extent will you say the CPP has successfully worked on that?
I would say that for me, as I sit here as the flag bearer of the party, I'm about 80%.
Oh, you say
the
80%?
20%? Yes, the 20% is the funds.
In terms of gaining the grassroots support, 80%?
No. In terms of having the structure.
Oh, the CPP has built and established the structure.
And in terms of the readiness of the Ghanaian to switch Instead,
the CPP is not responsible for the readiness of the Ghanaian to switch.
No, but CPP is not. You see, that is the difference. CPP is not here, and the Ghanaians people are here. We, the Convention People's Party, is the People's Party. We have the policies, and we are here. There's nothing like the CPP because we haven't been in power for 30. In this Fourth Republic, we've not been in power. The Fourth Republic has been 32 years. 4 years, 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 4 years. So 8 years of 2 terms for each party. So when CPP says that we are, the people are ready, and because we have systems and policies that are going to deal with people at the grassroots, I am very confident because our policy of governance at the doorsteps of people is bringing government to the center where you walk to vote. So that makes all the difference. Life is not that complicated.
Well. So from where you sit, you feel like the CPP is the answer to these uncertainties that has built up within the Ghanaian people.
Absolutely.
The lack of satisfaction.
And that is why I'm thankful for God for my presence here, because I'm coming in with a system that actually allows. I'm coming in with a system that actually allows the Ghanaian to get involved, not somebody governing him, because we are bringing governance.
What's the system?
It is a decentralization system that brings governance at the doorsteps of everybody in every village. And that decentralization system is what we call government at your doorsteps.
Okay.
So what it means is that we now bring the real meaning to the democracy that you are going to go through on the 7th of December to vote for me. On the 7th of December, when you vote for me, in this particular case, you'll be voting for yourself because you're going to have the opportunity to govern yourself at your polling station center. Because every center that you see where you go to vote will now turn into a government center that will be run by the people at that location with the support of AI and the blockchain, because we believe that technology.
So you're talking now about what you will do in the events that you come into house.
I'm talking about why I feel confident that technology and life and the situations of this world has placed CPP and the Ghanaian at a portion where we don't need to go through what others have gone through.
So you feel technology and the current state of the economy and the dissatisfaction of Ghanaian people in the current administration has created a favorable position for the
CPP. Absolutely.
And you feel like many Ghanaians share this belief?
Absolutely, because we've been out there and the response.
There's enough visibility.
There's so much empathy. There's not visibility.
There's empathy.
You see, that is the point. We have been conditioned to think that
visibility is necessary.
No, it is necessary, but that is not it. I'm telling you today, the T-shirts won't do the trick anymore. The billboards won't do the trick anymore. The Ghanaian youth has arrived, and that is exactly where
the Ghanaian youth is discerning enough.
Precisely. So now that we are coming with our policies to explain to them that now we are bringing government back to you, ownership. We want you to take over government. We want you to take over Ghana. So what we have here, government at your doorsteps, is just only one of the policies, the vehicle that will allow you to be able to live a life that brings meaning to yourself.
To empower the Ghanaian people.
Precisely.
For purposes of time, let's move over to one pressing issue that has been top on the lips and minds of many Ghanaians. It's been Galamsey, right? What do you make of the manner in which it's being tackled? We've had so many groups call on governments to end Galamsey. Are you pleased with the efforts by governments so far?
Not at all. I'm pleased to some extent with the involvement of the community, of the people now. Because some of us started saying it much earlier. We've done so much to tell people that Galamsey should stop. I'm glad it's here. But it's sad that it must get to this point before all of us get involved. I asked women to, Mr. Omongbomaboso, you understand, for us to get up. So I'm happy. But let me tell the youth of this country, when the CPP takes over, Galamsey illegal mining would end the moment you vote CPP. However,
let's talk about how realistic that is, really, because the moment you say that it would end the moment we vote the CPP.
But
how realistic is that? How realistic is it? that Galamsey is going to end.
It's so realistic based on the system
that's going to be so different about the handling of Galamsey by the CPP.
Because first of all, the government at your doorsteps brings governance. You see, life is not complicated, but we think it is.
Let's speak specifically to Galamsey.
Yes, the Galamsey is run by people within communities. It's your land and my land that has been used for Galamsey, illegal mining, trying to get the gold underneath, because the gold has been entrusted in government, in the president, for the people. So the gold will be entrusted in me for you. But I'm saying that gold would be owned by the Ghanaian. Every Ghanaian gentleman listening to me, we would earn Galamsey, but you would own the gold. You would own the mine, because we have a policy called Ghana Bashers. Ghana Bashers gives every Ghanaian 20,000 Ghana cedis, 20 million of you, that can be used together. If 1,000 of you come together, you have 20 million Ghana. And that means that you can own the mine. And any investor that comes in will partner with you. We have put you at the center of every policy that has been made.
You're going to give money to these miners.
Everybody,
to
including
own
yourself.
The mine.
Everybody.
Including?
It's giving you, every Ghanaian, 20 million Ghanaian.
Say that again?
20 million Ghanaians.
Okay, will receive? 20,000
Ghana.
To end Galamsey.
To end, including Galamsey. Because when you say end Galamsey, it means you must create jobs. There must be people.
How sustainable is that, though?
That is the only sustainable way. Everything
receiving
else,
the money is what is going to end Galamsey.
Yeah, because of the structure. Every other system has not worked. So it's not about. So you must do something.
So when
that's
these miners receive this 20,000, is it?
Yes, everybody. It's not going to be money put in their pocket. So it's called Ghana Bashers.
Okay.
It is
let's speak specifically to the miners. So when they receive this 20,000.
Yes. So let's say there are 1 million.
Next? 1 million miners?
Let's say 1 million miners. Okay, because people are throwing all kinds of numbers around there.
You say, right.
Because we don't have data.
Very well. So these Ghana 1 million miners, each of them receive.
Yes, the government at your doorsteps now will take the data, because it's your government at your doorstep. Government of the people, by the people, for the people.
Okay, so that's tell me how this money.
So the 20 million
would end Galamsey.
All the youth now. If it's me that have the skills and the ability to put up a mining corporation, I will then put the package together. I just walk to my government at the doorsteps, and then I'm able to convince 10,000 youth. If I'm able to convince 10,000 miners that now you have access to own gold, now they will then put their shares and their interest in that company. So now I raised 200 billion.
All of these Ghanaian youth, particularly living in the hinterlands in these communities, will have such an understanding and knowledge of this investment proposition.
Absolutely. That is why they are polluting your water. They are so smart. They have the knowledge. They want business. They're entrepreneurs. They are entrepreneurs. You can't stop them. Have you heard them talk? They are smart young people.
They want work. It doesn't mean they're entrepreneurs. They want to be employed. They want lucrative.
No, they don't want to be
employed. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're
that's what. No, most of them are Ghanaians. That is what 99% of us are traders and petty traders. Yes.
Okay.
99% of us. I mean, at least 95% of the Ghanaian.
And this statistic is.
And these young boys are the very same people who are able to get through what they are doing. They don't have an alternative. So that is why they are doing this. We won't give it to a few people. I'm going to put up a bank for some. No, every Ghanaian have that access. Just as every Ghanaian says you can have free.
Where will you generate this? This 20,000 for each?
$25 billion.
What will be your
it's as simple as that.
Where you will generate these funds from?
The first,
very briefly, as we
briefly, right. The gold itself that is under there itself is funds.
Oh, certainly it is.
Precisely. The fact that you have not taken the gold from the ground doesn't mean it's not money.
It's not refined.
Precisely. So the fact that it's not been refined or mined doesn't mean it's not money. So it can be used. Number two, the equipment is where we government comes in. People have equipment across the world, and all they want to do is sell the equipment and make money.
Right, okay.
They just don't have a structure. Right. We will put that structure through the government at your doorsteps. That structure has been put in place. So if you need 200 billion, maybe 150 billion of it is the equipment. I'm only giving an example. However, 10,000 youth now own that mine. So they really don't have to worry about going to destroy the earth because they know that they have access to the gold. Every Ghanaian listening to me, we will stop Galamsey, but you would own the mines. The gold will belong to you. Foreigners coming to Ghana will partner with you. We are giving you back ownership. Don't let anybody deceive you that you don't have money. You already owe about 50-something billion in major infrastructure. Nothing has been finished. We will put the money in human capital. We will put it in you because we believe that you must do it. That is what it is.
We have to draw the curtain.
And Ghana at your doorsteps is government at your doorsteps is the process that will be used because we believe in the youth of this country. Thank
you so much for coming by and for being here for this interview. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Akosia from Pomar Sapon Kuma, flag bearer of the CPP, Convention People's Party, joining us here on News Tonight. And we remain your election hub here at GH1 TV, Star 103.5 FM, and across all our sister stations. Do stay with us. In business news this evening, farmers in the Upper East region are finding hope in pearl millet as changing weather patterns disrupt traditional farming. This resilient crop is making a comeback thanks to the efforts of the Savannah Agricultural Research Institute. There's more in this report.
In a world increasingly affected by climate change, the story of pearl millet underscores the importance of community-driven innovation and sustainable agriculture. This initiative empowers farmers, enabling them to take ownership of their agricultural practices and make informed decisions about their crops. Pearl millet is a climate-resilient crop that thrives under challenging conditions with a short harvest duration of between 50 and 60 days. This makes pearl millet an attractive option for farmers grappling with the rising cost of maize production. With both open pollinated and hybrid varieties available, pearl millet offers a viable solution to food insecurity and economic instability. Over 2,000 distinct types of pearl millet were on display, each with unique attributes, as the Savannah Agricultural Research Institute organized its first participatory variety selection.
In Ghana currently there's no hybrid millet production anywhere. So we're making efforts as part of the regional trial that we're doing. We're making efforts to see how we can also extend that hybrid work in Ghana. Other countries are really doing it and it's doing very well.
According to a millet breeder, Dr. Drabo Inusa, the research on hybrids aims to help West African farmers produce high-quality crops that meet their needs.
It's not all the varieties we create that are good varieties. Decision is very important, and it will give us direction to drop what they say is not good and to advance with what they say it's good.
A local farmer, John Azasiba, shares his experience with millet cultivation and its cost effectiveness, especially investment in fertilizer.
I would even prefer this one over maize. Why? Because this one, they have applied fertilizer only once. And the land is sandy, which means that the land is poor in terms of fertility. And applying fertilizer once and getting this yield, if you produce maize here, I think you have to apply fertilizer twice or 3 times before you can get anything from this same land.
In sports tonight, the president of the African Paralympic Committee, Samson Dean, has been re-elected as the president of the Ghana Paralympic Committee at the 2024 Elective General Assembly, which was held at the Accra Digital Center. Dean ran unopposed and was declared the winner by the presiding officer of Ghana's Electoral Commission, Madam Abigail Nutako.
Samson Dean first assumed office in 2019, narrowly defeating his opponent Shaban Mohammed, the technical director of the Ghana Cycling Association, by a margin of 7 votes to 6. During his first tenure, Ghana successfully hosted the inaugural African Para Games, where the Black Challenge amputee football team emerged victorious. In May this year, the Ghana amputee team also claimed the African title by defeating hosts Morocco. Dean was instrumental in leading Ghana to qualify for the Paris 2024 Paralympic Games. Samson Dean also serves as the president of the African Paralympic Committee, succeeding Lionel Da Rocha Pinto, who held the position for 13 years. In the NPC Ghana election, Evans Yeboah was voted vice president, Henry Labi was selected as secretary, and Richard Taino was elected treasurer. 4 executive members, Idrisu Aishetu Farida, Foster Kwaten, Mary Apedo, and Anthony Jenin, were also elected to finalize the board.
Now, before we wrap up, let's take another local story. As part of activities to commemorate the 2024 edition of the International Day of the Girl Child, the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection on Friday held a mentorship session for girls. The participants were drawn from various basic schools in Accra and were taken through topics such as empowerment as well as gender-based violence.
The mentorship program saw several accomplished women spend time educating the girls on various topics ranging from empowerment, gender-based violence, as well as the importance of education. The theme, Girls' Vision for the Future, aims at drawing awareness that the girl child can explore life's opportunities and have a vision for the future. The gender minister, GHOne, who was the keynote speaker, advised the participants to be themselves. She urged them to embrace their strengths and uniqueness.
What is key is being you. There's always something that distinguishes you from the next person sitting next to you. So even though they're telling you all this, you need to apply it to yourself. Your own strengths, your own weaknesses, and knowing how you can use them and you can exploit them to your advantage. So being you is very key. They're here, they've gone through their own experiences, but you have something special about yourself that everybody doesn't know.
She encouraged the children to be respectful and focused in their journey.
Life is very short. I mean, I was very young, like you just recently. Now my best is going to 40. So enjoy and have fun. Be you, respect your parents. And that's what I should do. So, much respect.
Well, that's all the news we've got for you today. Thank you so much for making the time. Do visit our website, starfm.com.gh, for lots more local and international stories. The bulletin was produced by Musa Lanza, directed by Kwame. I'm Natalie Fort. Thank you for watching. Have a beautiful and restful evening.